Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share with you just one card. I made this card for my friend whose birthday was yesterday. So I thought that while I was making it, I may as well share this quick tutorial with you. We need to start with a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. You can use any colour. I've decided to use white. Make a mark on one edge at 6 inches and then just draw a line down. You only need it to come down a couple of inches, 2.5 inches say. Then take a ruler and put one end in a corner. So let's say we put our line at the top of the page. So put one corner of your ruler in the bottom of your page and draw a 12-inch line up to where you've drawn that first line down. So you have to have the full 12 inches and it has to come diagonally from the corner to the line that we drew first. So we're ending up with a triangle that measures 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. Next we're going to measure the 6-inch mark on each of those 12-inch legs. So there'll be 3 6-inch marks. Next we're going to make a mark 2 inches above and 2 inches below each of those marks that we've put at the 6-inch point. So if we held our ruler along the whole length of the side, we would have a mark at 4 inches, 6 inches and 8 inches. So we end up with a marked card like this. Now we're going to cut along those lines, the first lines that we made. I did find that I needed to actually cut a strip off the top so that I could fit the length of the paper onto my trimmer. So I trimmed a couple of inches off the top so that I could still have the point of my triangle in, and then I just ran my cutting blade along the lines that I'd drawn so that they were diagonal where my blade would cut on my trimmer. You might find it easier to cut this out with your scissors. I am not a good scissor user, so I found it better to use my trimmer. So as you can see by the pink lines on the previous piece, there are 2 score lines for each peak. I've not actually marked the lines on this particular piece of cardstock because this is the actual card that I will be giving away, so I didn't want to have lots of lines on it that I had to erase later. So this is the diagram once again that shows where I have put my score lines. Now it's time to fold our card. As with all of these unusual fold cards, it's important that our markings and foldings have been accurate, because if they're not, when we put our card together it won't work properly. The longest lines on the card, longest crease lines, are folded in towards the center of the card, and the smaller ones are folded out away from the inside of the card. So the long lines are the valley fold and the short lines are the mountain folds. Once you've made your initial folds, use your bone folder to score your folds well so that your card will sit nice and flat. I always like to make sure that the creases are well and truly flattened. I'm going to use this DCWV paper pad called Love Grow to decorate the card. Because the paper's double-sided, I only need to use one sheet. I'm going to cut the pattern paper a 1/8 of an inch shorter or smaller in dimension than the actual panels on the card, so that I'm going to have a bit of a white border all the way around. There's no secret way or fancy way or no particular shortcut way that you can cut these papers. You just have to, well, what I did was cut, mark and then cut again. So I cut a piece, I'd mark where I needed to recut it and then cut it down to size. Someone out there's probably got a fancy way of cutting triangular pieces, but I don't know of it, so I had to do it the old slow way. Once I had all my pattern paper cut, I used my Versacolour ink pad to ink around the edge of each and every one. I have cut all of the panels for the front, and I've also had to cut 3 of the oblong panels for the back of the card as well, because you do see that when your card is folded up. I have used double-sided tape on the back of all of my papers and attached them to the card. You can see here what it looks like if you don't put your pattern paper on the back of the oblong pieces. This is how it looks once I've covered the back of those pieces. To create my greeting panel, I'm going to use this stamp that I got off of a magazine. I'm going to use my Spellbinders standard circle dies and also my Lifestyle Crafts nested lace circles to make this little panel here. I've used foam tape to mount the white greeting on top of the circle embellishments. I've also hunted through my stash and used my hot glue gun to attach these flowers to the front panels of the card. I'm also going to use some of these crystals to add a bit of bling to each of the blue panels. I'm just going to put 3 gems in a straight line across one edge of the panel, so across the top of each triangle, I suppose you'd say. I'm going to create a panel using this Lifestyles nesting lace squares that's the same as the nesting lace circles that I used on the front. I'm going to cut a panel out of white cardstock, ink around the edge of it and attach that in the middle of my card so that I've got somewhere to write my personal message. So that completes my card for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, I'd love it if you would share it with your friends. If you're not already a subscriber, please click on the subscribe button and the bell next to it so that you're notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you for spending your time here with me today.